Putin is posed to switch off the lights in Europe. Here's why. Russia gas giant Gazprom warns that it can't accept a key turbine. So just a quick review. Western Europe, Germany in particular, relies on Russian natural gas in order to provide electricity and fuel its economy. And what's going on right now is the majority of which goes through Nord Stream 1. There are other pipelines, of course, more on those in a second. But the catch is that, like with any industrial machine, you have to take these things offline from time to time in order to perform maintenance. Anyways, one of the key components, this turbine or whatever, right, was going over to Canada to be fixed. And as a result, the natural supply that the pipeline could safely transmit went down, as to be expected. Now, that being said, in the summer, you don't necessarily have a high demand for gas in Western Europe because it's not cold outside. And so therefore, if you have to take something offline, you might as well do it in the summer. It's like doing construction on the roads in the middle of the night when there's no traffic. But the catch is that with Nord Stream offline and with the other major pipelines to Europe throwing through potentially hostile states, or at least states that are more aligned with Russia, the notable one being Belarus, which has a major pipeline to Europe. But Belarus is very much in Russia's orbit. So the point is that if Putin again wanted to switch off the lights or turn off the tap, shall we say, he could probably exert pressure on Belarus to do it. The other two big pipelines go through the Ukraine, and due to the situation in Ukraine right now, that's ambiguous. If nothing else, Putin might say, yeah, we'll send gas through Ukraine or whatever, right? But what's to stop the Zelensky government from charging a massive tariff on the gas that transmits, or on the gas that flows through Ukraine to get to Western Europe? In other words, Western Europe, when the winter gets here, is going to be a forced buyer of energy. And the reason they are is because they can't make their own energy. They're energy dependent. Now, granted, in time, they might be able to build LNG plants, liquid natural gas plants, to better help with the import of gas. And perhaps, they can build new nuclear reactors, turn on coal plants or whatever, right, in the interim. But again, these things take time in order to build up, and winter is right around the corner. The catch is that if you look at Statista right here, we've seen that the average temperature in Germany, well, it fluctuates between, let's say, like -4 to 4 degrees Celsius. So that's going to be, call it 29 to 39 degrees Fahrenheit for all us Americans who don't use the double system known as the metric system. No offense to the metric system. Anyways, the point is that like when winter gets here and there's no energy to heat homes, as Rick Rule is fond of saying, people will flick the switch, or Germans will flick the light switch, and the lights aren't going to come on, or they're going to come on and they're going to be paying outrageous prices in order to do it. And the sad part of it, I mean, okay, it's one thing if you can't, play video games or whatever, right? Get over yourself. But it's quite another thing if you can't afford the energy to heat your home in the middle of, the cold, harsh European winters. I mean, this has the potential to kill people.
Not only that, let's check and see what current gas prices are already like in Europe. We can see here that it's just below $6 a gallon. So you would expect these European nations to be trekking and trying to do absolutely anything they can to increase production, because this is the slowest time of any season for consumption of energy. But what are these countries actually doing? We see Germany coming out and saying that people are legally allowed to change their gender once a year. The focus on Germany is clearly not in the best incentive of the German people. All they are cared about is maintaining their wokeness. We see no energy production starting. We even see them shutting down uranium plants still. They are doing absolutely everything in their power if they were trying to cause mass mayhem this upcoming winter. People are quite literally going to freeze to death, and there is zero policy that is trying to prevent that. In fact, all they are trying to care about is maintaining their ideological frame that is so just twisted and non-humane like.
Like sooner or later, the Western Europeans, or I'll pick on the Germans for a second, but it's not just exclusive to the Germans. They're going to have a come to Jesus moment. And they're just going to have to realize, listen, at times we might feel bad. At times people might think we're bad people. And you want to know what? That's okay, or whatever, right? You're not going to win in life by constantly appeasing, the radical wokest leftism. There's just going to be one more thing and one more thing after that they're going to seek to divide people against. This is kind of off topic for the video, but I've always suspected that the radical leftists, deep down, they want to die. I mean that literally. They do not want to be alive anymore. They hate themselves, and they've been turned by various forces, I would argue, to hate themselves. But anyways, let me just finish up one thing from that article real quick. The key point, and I know the source is RT today, but just deal with it. The thing that you're seeing going back and forth right now is you see this bureaucratic, I would use it like inertia. So let me tell you what I mean by this, Josh. It said, again from the article, in mid-June, Gazprom reduced gas supplies via Nord Stream to 40% as the German-based Siemens had not returned the turbine in time for the repairs from Canada due to sanctions. On the 27th, Russian gas suppliers to Europe Europe via Nord Stream dropped 20% of their 20% of their maximum level due to Gazprom decommissioning yet another gas turbine in the Nord Stream pipeline. Viktor Markelov, deputy head of Gazprom, said that Siemens was not fulfilling its obligation to repair faulty engines for Nord Stream. Moreover, on July 29th, Markelov said the delivery of the turbine from Canada to Germany instead of Russia did not comply with the contract. And so what's going on here, and this is kind of why I suspect there's more going on beneath the surface, is that it looks like the turbine's been fixed. It looks like it's already in Europe, in Germany, that is. But Russia, for whatever odd reason, is saying, listen, and remember, this is coming from RT today, which is arguably very much in the Russian sphere of influence. So again, like, always consider the source on this front. But the reason I kind of like, I'm harping on this is that it suggests to me that there is an obvious solution ready to go, but it's just bureaucracy that's holding it down. Maybe a few other things you want to put on your tinfoil hat, but whatever. And so I'm just kind of scratching my head saying, okay, well, listen, if I was Putin or whatever, right, I would want the Europeans to draw down whatever supplies, let's say the Germans, for example, to draw down whatever gas supplies they had during the summer months. And yes, it's true they're not probably having to heat their homes during the summer month, but Josh, as you're well aware, the industry in Germany is one of the industrial powerhouses of Europe. I mean, what do they do? They export, what, north of 40% of their GDP or thereabouts, at the point of massive manufacturing, whatever, right? Well, again, these industries require natural gas in order to, continue with their business. And if you shut down the export, or if you shut down German industry, you're going to be putting, a huge swath of the German population out of work, which is going to cause, social tension or whatever, right? So the point is that industry requires energy. Energy means gas. And if you deplete your gas without replenishing the reserves because your sources are offline, well, guess what? You will be entering into the winter season with nothing in reserve, which means that your need for gas is going to be all the more extreme, which means those who have gas will be in all the more better position to apply leverage and pressure. And last thing, Josh, I'll just say this in closing. There is a clip of Trump talking to the United Nations, maybe 2 years, 3 years into his term. And he called out this exact same thing. Now, you can hate the guy, you can love the guy. I'm not going to comment on that point. But the point is, this exact scenario was called up by Trump and by other people before Trump. And even when Trump was giving the speech, the camera then panned to, the German delegation at the UN. And they were just kind of like, smug, snickering, thinking, oh, this buffoon and orange man doesn't know anything. And like, I am just constantly amazed at the arrogance, the ego of the Europeans that masquerades as humility, that masquerades as this false virtue. Like, it just blows my mind. And they will pay a very dear price for it come this winter.
So how reliant are they actually on Russian gas? We can see here that the European Union consumes about 40% of their gas from Russia. That is just catastrophic. So let's say you are in war, and war is just a massive game of 12-dimensional chess. And let's say you're Putin. What would be Putin's move if everything that Europe and the West is trying to do is to deliberately attack Russia and Putin himself? Personally, if I was Russia, I would use my strongest force, which is energy. Energy is the economy. So he knows that. Every single politician knows that. If I was Putin, what would I do? It looks like that he's already started to turn off the taps. And if he does, if Europe is down 40% gas going into the winter where it is historically cold, how many people can he wipe the war away from very, very quickly? Let's say he just completely turns off the taps for just a few months. What catastrophic damage and how much death and economic destruction will be caused by Europe's policies? I would not even say it's just Russia. It is the European policy that is forcing this upon itself.
Yeah, so the question I would ask, number one, two thoughts is, number one, like, whose side are like the Western Europeans like leaders on? Are they like intentionally trying to kill a bunch of people? Because it sure does look like they're intentionally trying to kill a bunch of people. Like, yeah, politicians, I know they're the scum of the earth, but like they're not stupid, I would argue, in some dimensions. And this is one of the dimensions that, Josh, if you and I can see this, surely the politicians and their advisors can see. So that's the first thing. And the second thing I would add is this. It's not like Putin's going to say, we're going to turn off the gas. It's going to be like, and this is where, Greg Mandarino would come in, like, oh, there'll be some failure in the pipeline. Oh, look, something blew up. Oh, look, we can't put this piece in because we don't have the correct form, because it hasn't been signed in the correct spot. And that's going to be like, oh, I don't know. Oh, like a 4-month lead time to get it back in. And yeah, I really wish we could hurry it up, but there's just nothing we can do. Like, that's the shit you're going to see. Yeah, you're not going to see him turn it. It's going to be bullshit.
And if they can get it, it's going to be Russia selling it to China, China selling it to EU. And then what will the prices be in Europe in that circumstance? It's still going to be, what, $10 a gallon for gas? Oh, how many people in this world can afford $10 gas? It is almost only the elites. Here's Putin's next move. Is Europe prepared?